Hi guys. Okay, today's lesson, let me just go into my slides and my desktop. All right, welcome back. I hope you all have been keeping okay. Okay, so today's lesson, I'll be reviewing the common test question, and then I'm going to give you group work, some time to do some group work, after which you will share your group work slides in Google Meet Classroom, just like this on Friday. Now, what happens is that I need you to also, uh, all right, so what happens is that I'll be also going through with you. I need you to give me your slides by Wednesday, 15th 9 a.m. for comments. Okay, for comments and editing. Okay, so that we'll be ready to share. You will be ready to share your group work on Friday in Google Meet Classroom. Are we clear about this? Okay, all right. Now, so what's the question? Just let me try and push this to the side here. All right. The question is this: to what extent is Victor a master of his own choice? Now, I'm just going to go into screen recording. Just give me a bit of time while I do some, screen sketch. Now, in order for you to do this question, you need to tell what's the opposite of master, slave. So, this is where your balance is. This is where you have your both sides of the question. Okay, master versus slave. Got it? Okay, now own choices. This word choice here, what does that mean? Choice would be choice to create his environment. Okay, choice to study what he wants. Choice over his own actions. So once you do this, you have basically analyzed the question, and after which you can then, do this. I hope you can see me now. After which you can do this analysis. All right, now, so if you look here, what is this analysis all about? Okay, so what I'm doing is that first of all, I will write my intro. In my intro, I will talk about the Gothic theme and the Romantic times and how the Gothic theme allows us to see that there's this sense that he can control his environment, hence the use of classical imagery. Okay, but then what happens is that Shelley shows this autonomy is merely an illusion. Now, what happens is that for each paragraph, all right, I will talk about the form and the narrative structure. Second paragraph on characterization and imagery, and the third paragraph on setting, use of setting. Okay, and other stylistic devices. You can talk about other stylistic devices as well. I've forgotten to write it out. You write it out. Now, so what happens is that this is how your entire essay is going to be. Can you see that I've balanced both parts of the question, and I'm saying no, he's not a master, but instead he's a slave to his environment. No, he yearns but fails to be a character, but fails to be a creator. No, he tries to be a master but becomes a slave to events beyond his control. So, uh, my my stand is that he's not a master but mostly a slave, and and fails in whatever he sets out to do. in terms of creating and controlling his environment and choices. Okay. Now, I've also given you I've also given you some sentence starters. These are all sentence starters and should be written in your form paragraph. So you can talk about how in the narrator reveals this essential conflict through delving into both Walton's mind as well as Victor's mind. The superficiality of Walton's mind reveals how being a master requires more than just the thirst for adventures. Okay, and then you can talk about how repetition, certain repetitive ideas and motives are used. Example of repetition would be things like, for example, repetition of um, okay, I'm not sure, you're going to find out on your own, and then other grammatical. So all these sentence starters must be in that, or try to be in that form paragraph, so that your essay is not narrative in nature but rather analytical. Okay. Next thing I need you to do would be to look at characterization and imagery, another paragraph, and the last paragraph here. It's on theme and setting. All right. Now, what happens is that I will give you these extracts, and I'll put in the group name so that you know who and what is going to do what. Now, you look at this. I've also given you a kind of like a setting paragraph to show what I want, but this is short. When you write, I would expect you to write at least. So give me a bit of time. I would expect you to write a 3/4 page analysis, put it into slides, give it to me by this Wednesday so that I can comment and tell you what I want done and made better. Okay? All right. Now I'm going to go out of this and take your time to go through this slides. I will give you the links. All right. Next thing I want to show you would be this is what you'll be getting. Okay. So group 1 will do extract 1, group 2 extract 2, etc., etc. Using these extracts as a starting point to analyze the question. Okay, the master of his own choice question. Remember, these extracts are just as a starting point. And when you do talk about these extracts, you must also refer to earlier chapters, later chapters, what happened earlier, what happened later, so that there's a link throughout the entire text and not just this extract. Remember, it's not a close reading or not a PBQ passage, but rather an essay passage. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to stop here for the time. I'm going to stop here and I shall give you the links. Okay?